Yo, everybody, here I am with the one and only Zwide on bass and musical director for this amazing band. Man, just tell me, what did you guys just do? I'm shocked. I'm shook.
So we basically took bits and bits of D'Angelo's music from the studio stuff to the live stuff. And the one thing you got to know about D'Angelo, he's got like 4 versions of every one of his songs.
Wow.
So like it was a matter of like, okay, how do we put like this version and that version together?
Yeah.
Mixing the live arrangement with the studio stuff, adding bits of our own embellishments on there. And it was just a set to commemorate the 2 albums. We did songs from the 2 albums, Brown Sugar and Voodoo. So it's just like to look at the music from that discography alone. That's legendary. Like just those 2 albums beats a lot of musicians.
For those who don't know, Zwide is a big fan of music. I'm sure you can tell.
Yeah.
Like a crazy big fan of music.
Yeah.
The last time we had Zwide arranged for a band here was a Mac Miller tribute.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And if you're on our YouTube channel, we're gonna put that up. Check it out.
Oh.
And I wanna say, if I think about you and your playing and music in general, man, what's the thing that got you to go, oh snap, D'Angelo?
I think it was the first time I heard Brown Sugar. Like the very first time I heard it. At the time, like it was 2011, and that's pretty late. But you know, I started getting into music at that time.
Yeah.
But I can just remember hearing something that I wasn't hearing in the contemporary music of that time. No, just that bass line when it came in, I was like, what is this? You know, like I'm just like that moment changed me forever as an instrumentalist. I was like, this is just, I've never heard anything like this in my existence as someone who was born after that album came out. Started digging into him, heard Voodoo, and the one thing that I realized is that the musicians of my generation all were birthed from those 2 albums. All the music that we're listening to now, Moonchild, Tom Nish, Itis Coyote, Daniel Caesar.
It's like everybody that's learning of neo soul now
it
needs to know
we
what
gotta
happened
go,
then.
and that's exactly what he did. What he was doing. He was taking in the Sly Stones and the James Brown and the Prince.
There's an interesting story that Questlove tells about the first. Well, there was this building. I forgot the address, but they had
Electric
like,
Lady Studio.
I'm not sure. I think, but it was studios on multiple levels.
Yeah, the Electric
right?
Lady in New York.
And they were recording Erykah Badu and
Commons, all the
Common.
Bill
It was all the
Odd,
cats from the
Soulquarians.
roots.
Yeah.
Exactly, Soulquarians. Yes.
The Soulquarian cats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I watched what D'Angelo does today after coming back to the scene, and he's got those cats still.
Yeah.
Zaya Shaky, yo,
Pino.
Pino Palladino, all of those cats, and they're killing it, man.
Yeah.
And I think for me personally, I'm like, shit, it's great to see you cats listening to that and going, it's so relevant.
Yeah, I mean the cool thing was that when I assembled the band, a few of them actually never heard of D'Angelo's music. So it was.
Can I guess who it is that didn't know D'Angelo? Can I guess?
Damien.
When I wink, I can see who it is. When I wink, I see a lot of eyes. I see a lot of hair.
He's hiding. But the cool thing was that I was like, yeah, man. Like when I approached him, I was like, the cool thing is that if you listen to this music, you'll be able to understand why we love the music that we love as the musicians right now. I mean, we go to like all the stuff like Jazz Fest and stuff, and we're watching music being done in a form that was created 20 years ago with what he was doing. So it was just an opportunity for them to see, I guess, the lineage of what we've got today in terms of the cats that we love now. As I mentioned before.
Because I mean, like this new generation of musicians is like everybody's checking out new soul.
Yeah.
But perhaps you're right. We need to know where it comes from.
It makes the art better when you know your references. So I think for me, I love that. And one thing I can say about what I loved about listening to D'Angelo is because he's an artist who referenced. So it made me get into Prince. And I started getting into Prince, and I started getting into Parliament Funkadelic and the Ohio players,
George
Collins, Bernie Worrell, all these cats. I was listening to him because of D'Angelo. Because he was like, these are the musicians that built Voodoo. And built Brown Sugar. It didn't come from nowhere, So that's the one thing about music. It's, nothing's new under the sun. So that's what I appreciate. People who can teach. It's a musical education.
Well, given all of that, man, I want you to tell me about the bandstand. So
okay.
I know you had Danny on the keys.
Yeah. So Daniel was actually the first person in the group who I told about this project. I told him about him last year. And at the time, I didn't see a pandemic coming. So I told him, man, you're going to hit
So this has been in the works?
I thought of this since 2017. But then I approached people to do this, started with Danny last year. And I told him I wanted to do this. And I hit him up.
For those who don't know, Danny on keys, he's been at Selective several times.
Yeah.
The one thing you should know about Danny is that he does not like voice notes. And he's terrible at responding on WhatsApp. But he's a lovely man.
The one thing about Danny actually as well, he's the youngest member of the band.
Oh, really?
And also and he was like so crazy. He was born after both albums had come out. So he wasn't even alive when they come out. But the power in that is that he was already a big fan. So it kind of just speaks to, music not having a certain age demographic.
Does he know what a cassette is?
I'd be surprised if he knows what a CD is. I'm kidding.
CD with a scratch. I don't think he knows a scratch.
Nah, he probably does.
Okay, sorry.
So
much love to Danny. Everybody, check out Daniel Williams on the keys. Come on now.
And then I had my man Jared Fortes on guitar, who I just love listening to. The first time I heard him play was at a place called Evo. Yeah, and I was just like, man, this dude, like, he's killing it. And he has
Jared plays bass as well.
He plays bass as well, yeah. And he has such a great tone. So I was just like, I'm gonna ask him for this. And I mean, you mentioned the fact that I do other tribute stuff because I love music. What I wanted to do was I didn't want to use the same musicians for everything. I want to spice it up. Yeah. So if I come to you again with another tribute, you'll know that it's not going to be the same cats. So yeah, I hit up Jared for guitar because I just thought he would make a great fit. What Spanky Alfred and Isaiah do on those, I thought like he could nail it, and he did. So
beautiful, man. Amazing musician. And then you got this guy who's playing all of these drums and things and sounds.
Yeah. The first time I saw Damien, he looked like Justin Brown, and I was like, man, this guy, he just looks like a drummer. Like,
so right, he does look like a drummer.
So I was like, let me approach him, and I think I saw him jam at like the Jazz Fest after party thing. And I was like, oh, this cat's tight. Yeah. And I was just, yeah, man, take my number if you're ever gonna work one day. Yeah. And then we ended up working on another side gig together that ran for like a few months, which was pretty cool because we got to know each other better. And then I just thought about D'Angelo's music and that what Questlove was doing, like that behind the beat thing, like that, like I was like, okay.
Non-quantized, right?
You know what I mean? What Dilla had inspired from those cats. I was like, the person that I've heard nail that the best in this city, in my opinion, is like Damien.
Man, I think the first time I heard Damien was I gotta think back, but I think it was in Claremont.
Blue Whistle.
If you haven't been in Cape Town, do not visit Claremont. The Blue Whistle, yeah. Nice spot, and it was a jam session there, and Damien was on the bandstand and was hitting it, man, like hard.
I actually kind of hate Damien because he's so good at like every other instrument as well. Like when we were doing the songs,
was playing keys.
Yeah, when we were practicing, he would like do the bass bits better than I did. At one point, I just wanted to give it to him. He's a whiz.
Yeah, people like that need a line. You gotta draw a line. You're like, all right, man.
Legit. Like,
here's
you
your
can't
lane.
be good at everything.
Please stop. Yeah. Give me a chance.
He's out there embarrassing us, man.
But I think like Damien. The first time I had a chat with Damien is listening to us right now. The first time I had a chat with Damien coming in about drums, he was explaining to me the weighting of the kick pedal. Yeah. And he had different weights. Am I right? You had different weights, and he was showing me all of these different weights.
He switched kick pedals in the middle of the set.
Jeez, for real?
I didn't even know he was gonna do that.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I was just like, man, why did you do that? Yeah. I can't even hear the difference. Oh, yeah, I thought it was one of the weight things. Regardless though, like his mind.
Yeah, man.
So, but yeah, to that whole.
So
point
wait,
about the
do you buy shoes that are weighted as well? Do you decide like, oh man, I can run in these? No, I can walk in these. These are good for 5 kilometers.
Yeah. So yeah, he was just the perfect fit for what Questlove and what Chris Day was doing with D'Angelo and the Black Messiah is with D'Angelo and the Vanguard.
Yeah. Shout out to the cats, man. Horn section.
So I had my man Shaw Kamori, who I met last year. You know what? Roy Hargrove did the arrangements for Voodoo, and he was D'Angelo's trumpeter for that Voodoo tour in the 2000s.
Rest in peace, Roy Hargrove, everybody. Check out RH Factor.
Yeah. so I was just like, man, I need someone who can nail that.
Yeah.
And he did. He went up to it. I mean, like what he did on Spanish Joint was just more than what I expected. So that was really dope.
For those who don't know, horn players are people who play these instruments that are always dirty. And they have multiple colors on them, and they're heavy, and oh my god, they're a nuisance.
Oh man.
But they sound amazing all the time. These are so this instrument right here is the South African 50-cent coin, but bigger.
So on that instrument, the saxophone, Jesse, who I met, I've seen around, and I, was just like, oh man, this guy's so good, and I saw him last year at a gig with Sean Sanby, and I was like, man, and I was like, man, this guy's really dope. Never really worked on anything before this. I just, I had his number, and I hit him up. I was like, hey man, you want to be a part of this? And he was like, yeah, for sure. He never came to one rehearsal, not one. He missed all of them. Never pitched up, didn't do nothing, and I was like, damn. He really he ghosted me. I'm kidding. He came to 2. We had 10.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh,
nah, I'm joking. Yeah. But I mean, that just also speaks to his quality, though. I'm not like clowning him. Like he just came through and he knew his parts. And they worked really well together. I don't know if it's the first time they've played together,
man.
but they were good. So that was my horn section.
And finally, you decided to get these amazing vocalists.
Yeah. Who I'm friends with the 3 of them, and I met Seth for the first time through this.
Oh, so Seth is a stranger.
Yeah, until now. But I'd known him through like the Cape Town scene.
Yeah.
And so I asked my friend Caitlin, I asked Jody, and I asked Donald in my own capacity. And I just thought of the way that D'Angelo has like 2 types of songs. One he's singing in the falsetto, high register, and then it's got the lower register songs. So I had to like kind of mix up that. And he also used to work with the 3 backing vocalists, so it would be 4 vocal. I mean, if you hear his music, it's so harmoniously rich. We spoke about this in terms of how many singers we're gonna have to get that harmony right. And then they suggested getting Seth, who's probably a bigger fan of D'Angelo than I am. So which was really good. Like he knew all the songs, knew everything. So he was really integral as well to also getting the singers clued up on songs that they didn't know themselves, that they were introduced to through this gig.
Dope, man.
And I just try to do something that, like you gotta pay respect to the people that have, you gotta show your appreciation in whatever way. So when I do these tribute things, it's not because I don't have my own sound or I'm afraid of building my own identity. Not at all. The identity that I built came from these musicians, So that's how I paid forward. So, yes.
Now, finally, and by the way, we had Jody Fredericks, everybody. Check her out.
Shout out.
Amazing vocalist. Caitlin May,
Donald.
Yes. Oh my God. Heavy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Those
voices.
are my friends. I feel privileged.
Oh, you got good friends.
Yeah.
Man. You got good friends. My friend is Marv. He's too old and outdated. He's always looking for VCRs.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I just want to say, like, the reason why I, saw this venue as a great spot is because every time I've come in, you guys have always played D'Angelo's music. So I was like, man, this would be, I mean, due to these conditions, it sucks. But if it was like your normal time, like I can just imagine just the people that you put in here, that crowd that you guys bring in here, this would have been like a really great gig for that. But I'm glad it's a little bit more reachable now for people.
Thank you, man. Thank you guys, the whole team for making this happen, for the amazing music. And finally, we're gonna put up. We've had a QR code on the video for donations. You wanna tell us a bit about that?
Sure. So before I had thought of the band and everything, the one thing I wanted to think about was that given these times, a lot of people's pockets are not being filled right now, even ours. But we come from a place of privilege. If you can look at the way that South Africa is right now, and one of the things that's been on my heart and on everyone's hearts, maybe since last year even more so, was just the issue of gender-based violence and just gendered violence in South Africa. And I just thought, man, I would like to do something to help out, and not just put out empty gestures on my social media to say I stand with you, I'm in solidarity with you. You know, they say you got to put your money where your mouth is. So the whole thing of the donations, we're sending that to the Saki Batman Center for Women and Children. And what's happening is a page called Keep the Energy, which has been doing a lot to promote awareness on what's been happening and victims and just call outs and just causes to donate to. They have a link that they have set up where they will be donating to the Saki Batman Center. So the money that we get donated, to this gig, it's gonna go straight there.
Thank you so much, man. Amazing work, amazing team, and I think a great cause. Everybody, if you donate, please do donate. Subscribe to the channel, donate for the team, Saki Batman Center.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's make our world better. And I want to say, man, thank you for coming through, pulling through. Amazing music. Everybody, check out Zwide. He's amazing, this cat. He's doing the things. And check out the whole band. Away. We are Selective Live. We got more for you. Let's go.
Let's go.